Welcome to Flak. As you will notice, my co-host, my brother Mark, is not with us today. He's taking a personal day, and but we have with us Richard Halpern, who's an actor and a comedian, and all sorts of things. And we're going to talk about the upcoming December 19th Dark Shadows Readers Theater production of A Christmas Carol. And all of your questions will be answered. Well, some of them might not be answered, but they'll be ventured anyway. So feel free to pop in, ask a question, and we will go from there. So now, without further ado, Richard Halpern.
Hello, Melody. How are you
Good morning.
today?
I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Doing great.
That's
Couldn't be
terrific.
better. You know what I mean?
So we've got a big Dark Shadows event coming up.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, on Sunday, December 19th, 2021. Always put the year and the day of the week. Right?
Right.
We are going to be presenting a Reader's Theater production of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which will be performed Zoom like, even though it's not going to be on Zoom. It's actually going to be over YouTube on the channel called The Quarantine Theater, which belongs to my friend Jack Fields,
Right.
who is going to be either he's going to actually be running the technical, or he's going to show me how to do it, and I'll be pushing the buttons and doing it, which he tells me, he says, Richard, this is so easy, and it's going to be easier for you if you do it. So if you let me ask you, Melody, you run a podcast, and this is on a YouTube.
It's
it's
very
easy,
easy.
right? Yeah, okay. Because what I want to do, obviously, be able to push till you see the person speaking, be able to see that, and do this, and then we can record the whole thing, just have a record
Exactly.
of it, and do the Q&A afterwards, and this type of a thing. So,
You can do this in your sleep. If I
well,
can do it, anybody can.
that's what I said. For like the shots, the flu shot, and the vaccines, when you get it, you don't feel it at all.
Right.
You feel it later. Some people feel it, but when you're actually doing it, it's like boop, it's gone, and it's like, oh, I said, listen, if I can do it, you can. I'm with you. It's like if I can dance, you can dance because I can't dance. I'm a
Yeah, exactly.
faker. I'm a faker. People see me doing what I do, and they, oh, you must have practiced for years on your dance. I said, no, I'm a faker. But all the good dancers know, Richard, that's really good faking. So yeah, that's good to know, Melody. That if I can, because that may be the case with it, and it'll help us out in the long run for it. So let
It
me
is
just
very nice.
yes, and let me just explain for the viewers how this is going to be. This is not like everybody is assembled on a stage somewhere. Everybody is in their own location. We have people all over the United States. We have David Hennessy, who is in South America. You know, everybody will be in their own television screen reading. Here's the script. Reading their part, and it's going to be performed, as I say, as a reader's theater. We're encouraging them to dress in some sort of a costume or mood of the period, depending on the role they're playing. So we'll have that. We're going to have sound effects. We're going to have music. Ansel Farage, who is a very good friend of fandom for Dark Shadows, is taking care of not only being one of the announcers, we are co-announcing it. So we come in at the beginning and at the end. He's also doing the music cues, the sound cues, and it's not very elaborate at all. I didn't want to make it a big thing. I want it to be, as simple as possible. And the script actually was given to us a year ago, more than a year ago, when we did the virtual Dark Shadows meeting or festival in on Halloween of last year, which came out so well. Right around that same time, Patrick McCrae, who was kind enough to design our graphic, which I sent you and which people have seen,
Yes.
he's a drama teacher, and he came up with the script of A Christmas Carol. We were thinking of doing this last year. And what it is was just a complete transcript of a broadcast from 1939, I think it was, of an Orson Welles Campbell Soup sponsored thing out of Chicago. Apparently, this had been going on since 1934, and every year they did it. Lionel Barrymore was always playing Scrooge. So I took that and I edited out all the references to Campbell Soup and Orson Welles and Lionel Barrymore, cut it down. So I adapted the adaptation. And because we have more women than men in the show, I had to make some of the nondescript roles female. And so everybody gets a shot. The narrations, there are several narrations throughout the script, are divided up between some of the cast. So everybody's going to get, and I don't want to tell you who's playing who because I want everyone to be surprised. But two of the cast members actually only have actually maybe three of the cast members actually only have one role and they're not doing anything else. So we'll leave it at that. So.
That
Yes.
says something.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I already have a question.
Please.
And guess what they asked?
What is it?
Who's playing Scrooge?
Who's playing Scrooge? Okay, well, here's the thing. I wanted this to be, and I even discussed this with you. We kind of want this to be a surprise until the day of the thing. Now let me ask you this: knowing who's in the cast, shall I read the cast list of the actors who are going to?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to read the cast list to you. I've got to put on my glasses, baby, because I'm blind, baby. All right. Okay, in no particular order. We have David Hennessy. We have Mitch Ryan. We have Nancy Barrett. We have Lara Parker. We have Jerry Lacey. We have Catherine Lee Scott. We have Marie Wallace. We have David Selby. We have James Storm. And Alexandra Moltke Isles. We have her as well. And Ansel, as I say, is doing one of the announcers and the sound effects. Jack Fields, if he's there at all, will be running the technical, or it'll be me. And I'm not in it. I'm an announcer, and I'm part of the carolers, just setting that up. I do not have a part. I did not want a part. And I told Catherine Lee Scott, who was I collaborated with her, really. Yeah. I said, don't put me in they don't want to see me. Well, some of you do, but they don't want to see me. They want to see you guys, the actors. So don't give me, if it's one line, give it to someone that's in the play already. So some of the people are going to be playing multiple roles here and there. And as I say, there are three actors that are only going to be playing one role, maybe two. So, and that's it. So who's playing Scrooge? Now, I've given you the entire cast. So if there is a chat going, why don't you try and guess who you think is going to be playing Scrooge. And we actually have had, out of any of these men, David Hennessy, Mitch Ryan, Jerry Lacey, David Selby, James Storm. Out of those actors, who do you think is going to play Scrooge? And
the StreamYard chat says they're leaning toward Hennessy.
Hennessy is Scrooge. Okay, all right. I'm not going to say anything, but that's good. And
Jerry Lacey.
Okay, it could be Jerry Lacey. Yeah, all of those actors could really do it.
Yeah. Any of them, really. I mean, it's that kind of character, and
it is.
Most actors want to play Ebenezer Scrooge at some time in their. And of course, there isn't a comparable female role, so I like the fact that there are other the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, which are always,
Well, it's a
female.
Yes, that's true. If some of the versions of A Christmas, well, first the Ghost of Christmas Future doesn't say anything, stands there, going, and you can't hear over the radio, you know. So and I will tell you, Ghost of Christmas Future isn't going to have lines. He never has lines, and there's a reason. I have seen the Ghost of Christmas Past being portrayed as female. It's possible Ghost of Christmas Present could be female. We don't know. Well, I know, but I'm not going to tell you. That ghost is actually the most important of the ghosts
Yeah.
in the original story. Now, this is cut way down. This is going to run about 45 minutes. So we've combined, we've added, there's people that have been left. I mean, there's characters that are left out and characters that are combined. But Ghost of Christmas Present is the most important of the spirits as far as being a political statement, a social consciousness statement. And we describe what that ghost has done with Scrooge. We don't actually do all the things. Now, if you read the book, the story, and some of the adaptations that have been in the movies or television, you see a lot, depending on the version. My favorite part, unfortunately, is not in this, is where Scrooge says to the ghost, he sees like stirring beneath the ghost's robes. And he pulls the robes apart, and these two waif-like, hungry children, but they look like death. They're like reaching up. There's a boy and a girl, and Scrooge says to the ghost, "These children, are they yours?" And the ghost says, "They are the children of man." He says, "The girl is want. The boy is ignorance." He said, "Pity the girl, but fear the boy," or beware of the boy. That's the most
Oh, yeah.
important social statement in the
Especially
play.
now.
Especially
Yes.
now, yes. Especially now. Yeah. That's
And,
not in our play.
I actually hear political figures speaking lines that could come right out of Scrooge.
Well, I don't know how many of my videos that you've looked at on my YouTube
I have.
station. Well, I actually channeled Franklin Roosevelt in a speech about an election, talking about an election right before we had, I guess, the 2020 election. And in that speech, he quotes that. He
Yeah.
quotes, ignorance. And he basically says in that speech, the problem we have today, the problem that today, any day, even his time, the big issue is ignorance.
Yes.
That's the issue. People are ignorant and they're not educated, and you have to become educated. And you got a big decision to make in November. Vote your conscience and don't be ignorant, because that's the thing. Even back in Dickens' time, ignorance was going. And the whole play of the Christmas Carol,
Yeah.
Scrooge is ignorant. He's just doesn't get it. He's also scarred because of
Yes.
the way life has treated him. Then in turn, the way based on that, the way he was brought up or the experiences he had, he becomes this evil, unhappy. So, but you see that he's really not evil. He's just unhappy. And
Right.
all those layers get taken away. Luckily, that is in our version of it as well. But yeah.
Yeah. What's amazing is A Christmas Carol was actually supposed to be a treatise that Dickens was going to write about the workhouses and the insane uh, austerity that was going on at the time.
Right.
Children, living their lives, working a job they shouldn't have been working.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it evokes so much more than a treatise would have. And
Right.
it's left us with so many versions, and they're all equally evocative. At least there are better ones. Do you have a favorite?
It's interesting because, as I said, each of them is different. Some of them leave out the part about the kids. There's an animated one that has the kids in there about the children of man. There is the Alistair Sims one, which is good. Reginald Owen in 1938. There's one. I think that's just called Scrooge.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there's the Albert Finney musical, which called Scrooge as well. That's interesting. Mr. Magoo and
Oh,
Mr.
my
Magoo's
favorite.
Christmas Carol,
My
Razzleberry
favorite.
dressing. Yeah, Razzleberry dressing. You know, oh, go spirit. Oh, I fear you than any spirit that I use. You know, oh, why, George? I've got the money to buy you.
I love that. Oh, yeah.
Jim Backus is genius, is legendary. And of course, my favorite Jim Backus routine. And champagne, my dear. Oh, keep pouring it. Oh, it's delicious. Waiter, get the waiter. You know. So
Very
yeah,
good.
I don't have a favorite because so many are different. But I'm gonna lean towards the one that leave the part in about the two children, the children of man, because that, as I say, evokes the most important concept
Great.
of the story. Is that so? What is
And I
what is your
believe that,
favorite?
pardon. Go ahead.
What
I'm sorry.
what is your favorite version if you have one?
Probably the Mr.
Mr.
Magoo.
McKay. Yeah, okay, that's
Oddly enough, I mean, it's so wonderfully fleshed out in terms
hmm
of the backstory,
right.
and I do believe there is the two children are in that.
They're in that one
And
too?
yes, you can do things with animation that you
Right,
can't do with live action, and
right.
particularly in things that are that mythic and resonant. And but I also love the George C. Scott production. I thought that was
Uh-huh.
very good, and so it's just one of my favorites from years back. My birthday is on Christmas Day, so
What
Christmas
isn't
Carol.
that well, happy birthday early, and you
Thank
share a
you.
birthday with my niece, Angelique, who was not named after Lara Parker's character. She was named after a character I think that Gene Tierney played in a
Ah, yeah.
movie. And I asked her father, but people in fandom, I mean, you diehards out there will remember my niece Angelique as the star, one of the stars of Baby Dark Shadows
Aw.
from the late 80s and early 90s, which you can see on YouTube. Just go to Baby Dark Shadow, type in on YouTube, go to just type in youtube.com/ or search Baby Dark Shadows. All 4 episodes are there for everyone to enjoy. Her birthday is December 25th as well, so it's a very big deal for her because it's Christmas and her birthday. And she's a grown woman with children of her own. She has a little boy, Luca, with her husband, who does not. Everyone's, oh, you're gonna have another generation of Baby Dark Shadows. No, this kid, my niece, and her 3 brothers, who all appeared in those videos, were all ham bones, dramatists, just like their mother, their uncle, their grandmother, their grandfather, all this. This
Right.
little boy, Luca, is not. He is not. Look at me. Look at me. Doesn't want his picture taken. Doesn't want to be. So that's. It's not gonna. We're not gonna continue. Baby Dark Shadows. Unless one of the other kids has kids, or maybe by the time Luca has kids in 10 years, whatever.
Yeah, there you go. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. You have to have a child that's really into it, and that's why so many child actors. It's one of two things: they either do very well or they don't. And the
Yeah.
one child actor I knew that has done well, other than I've never met David Hennessy, oddly enough.
hmm
I've met everybody else on the show who was alive when I got into the fandom. But I have one uh, former child actor friend, Mitch Vogel, who was all Disney all the time for quite some time, and he was on
hmm
Bonanza for the last 3 years.
Right.
And his family put his money away, so he
Good.
can now do whatever he wants to,
hmm
and is very happy and healthy and has a family. So it can happen,
It
but
can.
you have to have an actor who a child who likes to be an actor. But
Well, uh, David Hennessy is he as a child on the of course on the show. He is
Mhm.
now a very prominent restaurateur
He is
in
in.
Colombia. And I've seen he's on Instagram, he's on Facebook. He does not, that was a whole other area of his life. He's like, I was this, now I'm this, So he has children, he has his own, he had a family, all this stuff, and he's done very well for what he does. And look, he's got his things are so. Look, he's got cakes down there. He said some cakes they won't send to the United States. I said, David, please, how do I get this cake? Which I'm not supposed to have, And I think I heard you say something about Coke Zero. Let me tell you something.
Oh,
I love Coke Zero. I mean, I love regular Coca-Cola.
so does my
I'm not
brother.
supposed. I'm not supposed to have any of that stuff. But the lesser of two evils, I'll take the Coke Zero. I love it. But if you don't like, I understand. I respect that. But it's funny that you mentioned that because I got some in the on the refrigerator right now. But yeah, but yeah,
I had a gastric bypass, so I have to
oh, you
limit
have to. Yeah,
things. Yeah,
I hear
but
you.
I've lost 225 pounds, so
Look at you. Good for you.
yeah, it's been for my health. But anyway,
Yeah.
enough of that stuff. What and what kind of cake can't we have in the U.S.?
No, it's like a what do you call it? It's like one of those. I've seen them in uh, Italian restaurants and Italian groceries. It's like a cake. It looks like a bunt, but it's large,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
like a fruit cake of some sort. And this one had all this sweetness. It looked so good. And I went onto the website, and it said we don't deliver to the United States this cake, whatever for whatever reason. Um, so it was it's probably still up there, and I think it
Yeah.
was probably around this time because it looks like a holiday themed thing. Maybe it's an all year round thing. I don't know. Maybe during the Q&A, we can ask David, what about this cake? We want to know about this
There you
cake.
go.
Ask him about it. Um, and listen, a lot of places won't deliver outside of the country. When I'm working, which I haven't been doing a lot of, because of the COVID. I send See's candy all over the country, and not everybody has See's candy with it. Now, Melody, where are you based out of?
I'm in Lancaster,
Okay,
California.
so you're here. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you from the window. I'm in Hollywood, so there you are. Hello.
Oh, yeah. I'm
You know
just like
See's
45 minutes away. Yeah.
right. So you know See's candy. Okay, people
Oh,
around
sure.
the country don't. It's not all over the country. It's not all over the world. So I did a corporate event from home. Very,
Wow.
yeah. And I mean a major corporate event, which I had to get the good internet, which I'm on right now. I'm on my Spectrum 500 million
Ugh.
because they said, look, you can't do this with AT&T 12 MBS. You got to get a real thing or So I went and invested in that. It was just like being there, except I wasn't. It was a 3-day thing. Well, I sent boxes of candy through the website to the people in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. 2 people I sent to. And then one of the major players was in Israel. And we
Ooh.
communicated through WhatsApp. She could
Uh-huh.
communicate with it. And I called See's Candy. Do you deliver to Israel? They said, no, we don't. So what I did was I went to the post office and I said, look, if I buy my own box of See's Candy, can I send that to Israel? Does that come under the heading of? They said, sure. So I did. I went in, I bought a nice box of candy. I had them wrap it up and I put bubble. They gave me took it into the post office, and it wasn't that expensive. It wasn't like 500,000. It took a couple of weeks. She just recently wrote back, hi, thanks for the See's Candy. They don't have See's Candy in Israel, but I was able to send it myself. So maybe David Hennessy, if I give him the postage, could,
There you
I'll
go.
send you this myself. Maybe he will.
Send the man
Maybe
a
he
cake,
won't.
for God's
Send me the cake that I'm not supposed to have, but whatever.
sake. Right.
So anyway, do we have any
Oh,
more questions on the chat about or
yeah.
notions about who's playing Scrooge or whatever?
Somebody said you could go against type and go with Catherine or Laura for Scrooge.
As Scrooge. Okay, well, I will tell you this. Scrooge is being played by a male. That's the only thing I'll say. So Scrooge is going to be a male.
It has
Okay.
to be. I mean,
Well, hey, listen, Laura would be great. Catherine would be a great Scrooge.
yeah,
Marie would be a great Scrooge. All of
yeah,
them would be. We have,
exactly.
these people. Uh, Alexandra would be a great Scrooge, but
Sure.
she's not playing Scrooge. She's not.
No.
All right. So there we go.
Uh, somebody. Oh yeah. Well,
Well, don't you
Chris.
have it? Say again.
Somebody said Chris Pinnock, R.I.P. And
Yes. Well, let me tell you about Chris Pannock. This is how wonderful it was that we did successfully this chat last year at Halloween. He was involved in it, and then not that long afterwards, he passed away. That chat is still up on YouTube
yep.
and viewable today. It is public. You can see it at any time. And look, the times that I was able to get cast members in my skits, which I did for the Austin Powers one, yes. I don't remember if I have to go back and look to see who was in the other. I don't. That was one that had John Carlin. It had Lara Parker playing, instead of Dr. Evil, Mrs. Evil, his widow. Apparently he's dead. Her own daughter, Katie, played Miss Evil, which is supposed to be like the female Scott Evil, like he had a separate family, and she's after Austin Powers because you murdered my husband or whatever. And we had Diana Malay in
Yeah.
that skit as well. And the only person that I did not have in the skit, well, actually, two people. I'm going to bring this person up, but that's all we're going to say. I won't say who the person was.
Oh, okay.
We won't, and I offered this person the last line of the skit, and I tried to say to him, "Would you be in?" And would not let me talk. Would not let. And I did it twice. I did it in Los Angeles first. Wouldn't let me talk. Wouldn't let me say. I said, but no. I don't want. No, I don't. I said, it's one line. You don't have to practice. You don't have to memorize it. You stand in the wings. You say this and you walk away. That's the last line of the skit. Wanted nothing to do with it. Didn't have him. And the following year comes up to me and said, "Oh, can I be in this skit?" I said, "No, you can't, because I've already given it to someone else, one of the Collinsport players. So I'm sorry. You should have come to me earlier to say." But anyway, we didn't have that person. Oh well. Then I wanted to have Louis Edmonds in it.
Yeah.
And I had the part written for him. They come to the Blue Whale, where there's the scene taking place, and he's the character. He said, "I'm sick with viral pneumonia. Stay away. I'm viral pneumonia." And he's there with Mrs. Johnson, who is being played by Laura Brodian. And the script would have been sitting on the table. He has an exchange only with the Austin character. Then they take him home. And his handler, who I'm not going to mention that person's name either, said, "I don't want to let him do it. I'm not going to let him do it. No, I don't want to let him do it." And you know what? Louis wanted to do it. He didn't let him do it. And then he was gone. A few months later, he was gone. We would have had that footage of Louis reprising the role of Roger Collins, just like
Oh,
we have Diana as Laura, just like we have Lara. Well, she's not being Angelique, but
yeah.
she's being an Angelique character. John Carlin as Willie, opening the coffin with the
Yeah.
chains, with the flashlight, with the map. We have that preserved forever. And this is why I'm so happy about these productions, because you never know who, what, where, when, why, but it doesn't hurt to have people preserved doing something fun and wonderful. And
Exactly.
and I'm very sorry we don't have Chris with us. Chris Pannock was a wonderful man. He was the
Yes.
nicest guy. He actually portrayed his role as Jeb in the New York version that we
Yeah.
did the following year, which was 2001. Late August of 2001, less than a month later, kablooey. And where do you think we did that festival? The World Trade Center
Yes.
Marriott, in
Yes.
the World Trade Center building.
Like a
That's
week
where
before? Was it like a
it
week
was. Well,
before?
no, it was the 20, because my nephew Jordan, who's the youngest, it was his 16th birthday on the 20 1st of August. So it must have been around that time. It
Oh
was his
yeah.
birthday. And so September 11th, yeah, it was about 2.5, 3 weeks later. Luckily, people took video of the lobby and they took video of the statues and the thing. That is now historical footage.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And
Pearson, I think left the day or 2 days before. I mean, it
wow.
literally any footage shot then would have been just immediately before,
Yeah.
and it's
Well,
anybody who was in that building. You have that branded in your mind, you know. And
absolutely. You're right.
yeah,
And
I forgot to ask you: are you a first generation fan? You look far too young to be.
oh, aren't you nice? Oh, stop it. Just stop it. Yes and no. Yes, in the fact that I do remember it being on originally. I was
Okay.
quite young and I was kind of bored with all the talking. I wanted to see monsters and fangs and werewolves, which was kind of few and far between in the show. My sister, who was 9 years older than me, she was original, consciously watching the show and following the story with her girlfriends, and and they knew all the characters and stuff. I do remember it being on. I do remember one scene where Humbert, Nicholas Blair, he winds up in the coffin room and his eye is hanging out. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember Barnabas getting bitten and there's blood and there's a bat. I remember that. Uh, that's basically, and I do remember, of course, the movie House of Dark Shadows. And I made
Oh
my own coffin out of a cardboard box, which I almost got run over by my brother in my driveway. I would have been dead, but my sister, who's very psychic, got a psychic message saying, "You better call your little brother now." And she called me. I popped up out of the coffin right before my brother, who was stupid, going to run over it with his mustache. And yeah, but yeah, I remember I had a steak, like a wooden steak, and we put lamb sauce on it as the blood. And I had a ring that I found, some kind of ring, and this metal, red and white piece of metal was my cane. And I had my coat. I put my coat up like this, so I could be. So yeah, I was into the movie. And I had the book where there's a picture of Nancy with blood. I had all that. I
oh
had the little paperback book. I had the game, the Dark Shadows game, the Barnabas Collins game, which was like Hangman.
yep.
I had that. I think I had the little car where he's in a coffin. There's like a model kit. I had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to think what else I had of the. I think that's about it. But yeah, I was kind of an original. But if you had asked me at the time, well, what do you think of the storyline? I don't care about the storyline. I just want to see monsters. But as I say, my sister, yeah, she's one, and it's her daughter,
Ah.
Angelique, who really got into the show when they started showing it out here. If you remember this thing called UHF, which they don't
Oh,
have anymore, Channel 56, KDOC, the Snow Channel, because everything was like fuzz.
the
That's
bunny
where
ears.
yes, with the tin foil and a hanger. Yes,
Right.
that station, KDOC Channel 56 in Anaheim, California, that's who was showing the Dark Shadows reruns. And my sister told my niece, "You have to watch this show because they make all these mistakes and they leave them in." And she claims, and I know this can't be Dark Shadows because no one else has ever heard of it. She said that somebody's eyelash fell off into a drink. And
Actually, I remember
that's,
the scene.
you do remember that? That was Dark
Yeah.
Shadows?
It wasn't. It didn't fall into the drink, but it fell onto her cheek,
Who
and she
did,
was.
who
It
was
was
it?
great.
It was who?
Grayson. Grayson Hall.
Do you know the episode? Is it on the? I've never seen it.
Sometime in 1970. Because
Wow!
I talked to Grayson about the scene, and
Wow!
she she told me, "Yo, I got in late, and I was in the chair late, and they applied the eyelashes like they always did, and they didn't, and it was my fault because I got there late. But
Oh my God!
yeah, I heard all kinds of good stuff.
Well,
That was
listen. let's you and I both make a public plea right now. Charles Ellis, who is
Yes.
the god
Chuck,
of all things Dark Shadows, what episode did Grayson Hall's eyelash fall? And where can we see it? It's not on any of the blooper reels. Charles Ellis, if you are listening, you'd be the one to know this, because you know I always defer to you in the things where people ask me, what was the hand of the guy pulling the... Charles, that was so-and-so's hand, and it was this, you know. Charles will know. And if anyone else
yeah.
knows, please, if you're in the chat now, who, if it's not Charles, anyone else that can remember what episode that was in 1970 where Grayson Hall's eyelash falls, I want to see it. I want a video of it. I'm going to show it to my sister because I said, oh, you're wrong. It must have been another show, but she was right. How do you like that? 30-year-old, 60-year-old mystery solved.
Somebody says,
Oh, we have an answer?
oh no, no. She's saying Grayson may have gone back in time and changed the. Well, we have an ongoing joke that Grayson was very unusual in her ability to persuade people of things.
Okay.
And
All right.
you should hear Matt's story about his attempt to change her car over in, or his car over into his own name, because it was in his mom's name for
Uh-huh.
insurance purposes.
Right.
And she somehow lied to the DMV and gave them a different birth date. And Matt told them the one he thought was real,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't the one they had.
Uh-oh.
So she dodged about her age all over the place. And
Uh-huh.
so they're suggesting she might have gone and to the film vaults and ripped it out. But no, it's there. I don't
No,
think it's
yeah,
great.
no, I don't think she would have that kind of power to
No.
take away an episode, you know. But yeah, please, if anybody out there knows that episode, I've never seen it and I want to see it. And it's been talked about for decades over here. And now it's been verified by an OG,
Yeah.
yourself, and
Yeah.
who you ran Grayson's club. You would know everything about Grayson, all things Grayson Hall.
Yeah,
So
pretty
yeah,
much. And of course, I
did
must
you freak?
state
Yeah,
for.
I think you froze.
Oh, did I? Oh, you froze.
Yeah, you're okay now.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
unfrozen now.
It was a spectrum thing. No, the what was I saying? Something about
Grayson
Grace.
Hall, about her
Oh yeah,
eyelash. Yeah.
to state
The
for the
DMV.
record, there
Yeah.
is no movie called Satan in High Heels. It does not exist. Okay.
Satan and I. That sounds like
Grayson,
a live
Grayson,
show that could be presented out here, and you know.
Grayson, the wink wink, supposedly didn't do a movie called Satan in High Heels, and the joke
Okay.
has been among fandom that um, she did do it, but her name while she shot the film was Shirley Grayson.
Right.
So we can actually say Grayson Hall was not in that. So anyway,
That
that was
sounds
just
great. Yeah.
silly nonsense. Now let's start firming up some more stuff about it's over YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube, so everybody should. I will be posting the link again,
Yes.
and as will Richard, and we're both on Facebook, so y'all come over.
Right, and I have sent
Yeah.
to the clubs that I belong to, the Dark Shadows appreciation clubs. I'm a member of about 4 or 5, and there's probably more, you know. So whoever's in those clubs, and I want to send it to Shadowgram. I couldn't find a thing for them. So if anybody of you out there in touch with Marcy Shadowgram, please send it to her because it's important for them to have
Send
it.
it to Kathy Resch.
Kathy
Marcy.
Resch, yeah, okay, that would be great. And
Kathy is what?
okay, and if you are in multiple Dark Shadows clubs, the links that I post, I'm sure the links that Melody posts, it's all going to be public. It's on the graphic, but you can't link from the graphic. So it's better to have a separate link. And also, if you go to YouTube and type in the Quarantine Theater, and I don't know if that's spelled T-E-R or T-R-E, try them both. You're going to get to that is the site. And that Quarantine Theater is run by Jack Fields, who is not a fan of the show. He's a friend of mine and didn't have an awareness of the show. He's a big film historian. He works at Warner Brothers. He knows everything about movies. He knows everything about film, TCM. And he was kind enough to do this, run the tech part last year. And as I say, he's either going to be doing it this year or he's going to show me how to do it and I'll do it. But it's his channel and it's called Quarantine Theater. So if you go there now and bookmark the link to the Quarantine Theater, that's the link you're going to get when you tune in on December 19th. Depending on what time you're in, we're starting 4 p.m. California time, 7 p.m. New York time. And if you're in the Midwest, whatever, you figure out if you're in the UK, I can't help you. It's 8 hours. It's 16 hours. Depending if you're in Australia, it's tomorrow. It's yesterday. If it's Johannesburg, South Africa, I can't help you. So you figure out based on 4 p.m.
Let your friends know.
Unless you're, 4 p.m. California time, 7 p.m. New York East Coast time on Sunday, December 19th, 2021, coming up in just a little under a month, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not long now. But they're also, if you subscribe to Quarantine Theater, there's also a little bell icon you can click on.
There you go.
When they activate the link to begin the show, it will let you know. It'll page you, or whatever they call that, and you can go over and watch. And
that'd be great.
And there will be a brief Q&A.
Yes. Yeah, what's going to happen is after the broadcast, I'll come back on with Ansel. We'll give the actors a chance to, get a drink or whatever, unless they've already had a few. I don't know, but or use the ladies' room, whatever. And we bring them all back on for the Q&A, and you can ask the questions. A chat will be private, where we are the only one. Like here, I don't see a chat. You see the chat. Okay.
I see.
Okay. Now, do the other people in the chat room see the chat, or just you seeing it?
They all see the chat also. Oh, we have a new comment. Let's see. Thanks, we'll subscribe. Thank you for the information.
Great. Yeah.
And Richard's great. Yeah. They said to tell you you're great.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. And there will be a Q&A following the broadcast. We'll be taking questions. Only I will see the questions. Only if Jack is there, he'll see. Catherine, because she's kind of the matriarch of the whole, she's kind of the silent partner. And Ansel, we're the only ones that see the questions, and we will moderate those, and we'll say, oh, we have a question from so-and-so, wants to know blah, blah, blah. But I think what's going to happen first is we're just going to go around the room, the chat room, and ask each person, what have you been doing? Tell us, for those of us who have not been to the live festivals, who have heard people year after year, let us know what's going on in your life now. And I'm especially interested in, all of them. I know some of the stories now, but I don't know a lot about, Alexandra. I only know about the documentaries, maybe something else. Mitchell Ryan, I do know, has a lot of interesting stuff that he's been up to. And we'll hear about that. And everyone has something interesting to say to the viewers, the fans. I don't like to use the word fans. I like to use the word the aficionados, the followers of Dark Shadows, because it goes deeper than fans. Some of us, because of social media, we're not just fans, we're friends, especially Chris Pennock. He would have all sorts of interaction. Sharon Lentz is very active on there. Catherine is on there, often saying things. There's several of them that do. James Hall is on Facebook and corresponds with people and answers questions. And unfortunately, he could not be in the play. He is going to be out of town with his grandchildren, and he's been kind of a shut-in because of COVID. restrictions for the last couple of years, and this is the first time he's actually going to be traveling, and so he said, I
What's
can't do it.
a lot of people are busy,
Yeah, and there's other things going on in people's lives they can't do. So the people that we have that have agreed to be in it, we're very grateful and thankful. And yeah, you will get an opportunity to ask questions after we do. What have you all been doing? And maybe in that'll answer some of the questions. But that's what we're going to do.
There you go. Well, so let's see. When is the Q&A? It's right after the performance?
Yeah, what's going to happen is, as I say, I'll be on there with Ansel, and we'll be talking about some other things. We want to publicize the Jonathan Frid documentary.
Yes.
That's Mary O'Leary.
And that's available on Amazon now.
Yeah, and they just yesterday did a live in-person signing over here in, I guess it's Burbank, at Dark Delicacies, which is a kind of a spooky bookstore, and and Ian Buchanan, who you General Hospital fans remember as Duke Lavery. Hello, I'm Duke Lavery. He reads Jonathan's letters. I guess he's the part reading. So he was there with Mary, and I think Ansel was there too. And they said, well, we'll pitch the Dark Shadows, the Christmas Carol. And if you pitch our thing I said, absolutely, we'll pitch it. Yeah, anything related to Dark Shadows we want to mention, of course we will. So that we'll have something like that going on between the time of the broadcast and then bring them all back on, and we'll have that. And it's not going to be a long mishegas. It's going to be, quick seat. And if you remember in the festivals, when I was running at festivals, emceeing, I had that thing running like clockwork. And I won't mention any names, but a certain nameless person would come up to me and say, blah, 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 and then it would shut the whole thing off. And it was, okay, now we're behind. Or people would be on doing a presentation, and I said, okay, is that it? Are you done? Yes, we're done. All right, let's have a hand for so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. And then another nameless person would come up to me, put so-and-so back on. Okay. And then we'd put them back on, and people got up and started leaving because what they were saying lost the audience. And it's like, why are we putting them back on when they've told me to my face, we're done?
Yeah.
And now they're back on, and it's slowing everything down. And it's like, less is more. Get on, do your thing, go to the next thing. Go on, do your thing, go to that's how I like to run it. So people stay interested. We stay with the time frame. Everybody know. Look, if you ask me, and I do this many times, singing or whatever, okay, you got 15 minutes. That means 12 minutes to me.
Right.
12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. So I have time before, I have time after, and time during. So, and if you say to me, okay, you got one more song, I say, okay, cut to this. I do it, as opposed to, oh no, wait, I still have more. I want to do another. I want, which I hate, and it's happened to me, and it's oh yeah, and so.
Well,
it's gonna.
No, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing that I remember best about the festival is that everything was late, and some of it was ridiculously late.
Right.
And it's when you talk about a fan event, it's
Right.
run by fans, and at that point in time, I mean, I was at the first big convention.
Which was
Back when
when?
I was in fandom, that was New Jersey, 1986,
The 86?
85,
Okay.
86.
Okay.
And it was right after Grayson died.
Okay.
And we were expecting 500-600 people.
Right.
I was doing registration. I opened the table, and we had a line out the door.
It's great. How many people wound up attending roughly, would you say, having been in that position of checking everyone in or registering
It had
them?
to be at least 10,000.
And was it 2 days, 3 days? How
It
long
was
did?
2 days, and
3 days. 3 days.
we had.
Okay.
I know Maria and Jim were running around opening up new rooms.
Maria and
Yeah, Maria Barbosa, who is
okay.
the one of the people who started Dark Shadows Festival. I
Okay.
being another one, and Kathy and Marcy,
Great.
and the four of us were the originators of it.
Okay.
And the but it was a real it was it was a cyclone in the middle of the room, and
That's
all of us,
great.
and we somehow got through it. And then Maria handed the baton off to Jim, and
Uh-huh.
then all of that happened. But I'm just glad it's going on. And
Me
the
too.
amazing thing to me is I have been in fandom since 1978,
Wow.
and I know all these people.
Well, that's
Now, some of them
important.
may not remember me, but I've met them all.
Right.
And I was in Jonathan's apartment. I've been out to dinner with Jonathan. And, you just have a whole different perspective of the world when your childhood heroes are people you have met, talked to, and gone out to dinner with.
I hear you. I
And
totally agree.
and it's unique to Dark Shadows fandom. There are a couple of smaller fandoms in England that share, or Great Britain, that share a lot of that same. Blake Seven fandom is like that. We all
Hmm.
know the people but Dark Shadows is very unusual in American fandoms because we all know them. And I
Yeah.
tell people when they bring up Dark Shadows, I remember that. Yes, I know this person, that. You do?
I know it's
And,
amazing. It's wonderful to be in that kind of a capacity where you get to interact with these people, and
yeah,
as I have as well. I was like, oh,
yeah,
this is great.
we
This is
all have. I mean, that's what's
yeah,
great
it's amazing.
about fandom is, it. We all sit around at conventions. I remember the Dallas Dark Shadows convention when the power went out in the hotel, and
Uh-oh.
um, well, at least the air conditioning did. So we're all out sitting around the pool,
Oh,
and it's
really?
midsummer and Dallas and hot.
Yeah.
And Jonathan was sprawled across a lounge chair and fell asleep. And Nancy Kersey, let me send out my best wishes to Nancy, by the way,
Yeah, we
because
love Nancy. Nancy and Mary, those Nancy's a lovely lady. Mary's a lovely lady, O'Leary.
oh, they all
And
are.
they're the nicest people.
They are
Yeah.
just the coolest people in the world. And Nancy had to go over and wake up Jonathan and go, "Jonathan, wake up." And he said, "Oh, and then party, party, party." And all these guys are standing around.
Oh,
And
that's
it was
great.
just wonderful. These memories you just can't replace.
Right. You're
And
absolutely correct. I have wonderful memories of Louis. I mean, I really
oh yeah,
met him after he was kind of gone downhill because of his throat cancer that he had. But he was so funny and so charming and so nice and really sharp, and I had a chance to speak with him. Jonathan was a little hot and cold by the end,
yeah.
but
Well,
in his heyday, when I met him, I think in 1988 or 80, whenever the book signing for my scrapbook Memories of Dark Shadows came out, and they did a signing at the Beverly Center,
yeah.
either
That.
Walden Books or it's gone now, but I brought my niece with me, and she had her fangs on, those plastic, and he took a picture going. He's nice enough to do that, and we went to see Arsenic and Old Lace. I
Oh
took
yeah.
her with me. She's a little girl, And Gene Stapleton, Marion Ross, they were so thrilled. A little kid is there seeing the play, especially Gene Stapleton, who kind of brushed me off, like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Interested in this little girl, my niece. And what did you think of the play? That's so nice. And Harry Storch was in the play, and so, yeah, you have these memories of these people being kind. David Selby, who I met during Johnny Dangerously. Okay.
Oh
I
God.
was an extra in, no. I wasn't an extra. I had a cameo in Johnny
Yeah.
Dangerously. I had a cameo, and I'm
Yes.
standing there on Warner Brothers lot. I'm standing with my newsboy cap or whatever. And here comes David Selby with the tissue paper in his collar because he's on Falcon Crest. We're both at
Right.
this water fountain. We start talking. Doesn't know me from Adam. The nicest man. We
Yeah.
talked about Jane Wyman. We talked about Lana Turner. We talked about this. And is this the nicest man? And remains so to this day. John Carlin, I met in
Oh, yeah.
1983 when I was an extra. No, I mean, I had a cameo
There you
on
go.
this TV series called Bay City Blues. I played a bat boy. There was two of us. We were in every episode, like MASH. We played the same little character every week. And John Carlin was the scout. It was about a baseball team, a minor league baseball
Right.
team in Northern California. And it just had 600 people in the cast. That's why it really didn't go. But he was the scout. So we met. And, I said, oh, yeah, weren't you Willie Loomis? Yeah, I was Willie Loomis. John Carlin used to come see me at the Cinegrill because he would go to all the clubs, he'd go to
Mhm.
Musso and Frank, he'd go to the Cinegrill in Hollywood. He saw me at the Cinegrill. And, Richard, you're great. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is so great. I love it. And then I had a birthday party at Musso and Frank's across the street. He happened to be in the bar. And we were sitting in that room where the bar is. And he said, well, Richie, what's going on? It's my birthday. Oh, it's your birthday. Let me buy you a drink. I don't drink. Oh, come on. You got to drink on your birthday. He came over. He said hello to my mother. He said hello to her. He sat with us. And I would confide in him, all these crazy stuff that was going on in my life. And he would comfort me. And then later, he started to change. And he got a lot of health problems, but
Yeah.
his personality changed a great deal. And he wasn't the same towards the end, but I do have the memories of how kind and helpful he was always to me. And he was always very kind to my mother and always asked about, how's mama? How's your mother doing? Because he knew this crazy stuff that was going on with her because she was in declining health and in care homes and this, and that was driving me crazy. And he was the voice of reason with it. So this is a really nice guy, like these other people. I was real close with him. And as I say, with the onset of social media and Facebook, then I became close with the others. I had never met Sharon Smith until Tarrytown was it 2016, 2015, whenever we did Tarrytown the first time. I
Mhm.
never met her, but I met her that day. And she's the nicest lady. She's this nice lady. And she said something so funny. She goes, you know what? Wednesday, I was in the supermarket buying, frozen vegetables and meat, and now I'm here. I'm a celebrity again. So,
Ah, ah,
and because she's like this lady.
yeah.
She's this normal lady that you see
Yeah.
at the supermarket. She does supermarket things and normal lady things. And she's the nicest lady, and she's a very, very nice lady. She unfortunately has other commitments, could not be in the play. I stay in touch with her. She knows what's going on with me. And yeah, you make these relationships, you meet these people, and for whatever reason, they stay in your lives, either in person, you meet
Yeah.
them in outside of Dark Shadows, they become your friends, or you are online, you reach out to them and they respond, and then you're friends virtually.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Exactly. Well, we are now at the top of the hour, and
okay.
I'm very sorry for that because this has been great fun.
Well, me
And
too.
I
For me
hope
too.
you'll come back.
I'd love
And
to.
the again, December 19th,
Hmm.
4 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
And the East Coast would be 7,
Hmm.
and all y'all in all the other places in between, you just gonna have to figure it out.
Right. You got to figure it out. But that's right. Sunday, December 19th, this year, 2000. 21.
Yeah, I know we totally missed 2020. It's gone.
Well,
So
last year at least we had that Halloween thing, and that was 2020, so we had
there
that.
you go. So you have been just a delight, and thank you so much for showing up.
Well,
And
thank
you
you.
helped me get through an entire hour without my co-host, my brother.
Oh,
So
I'll be your new brother. Okay, how's that?
hey,
All
all right, I
right.
like that.
Tell your brother he has another.
Okay, yeah, we got another brother now. Hey,
Okay.
that's cool. Anyway, you have a lovely day. Merry whatever and happy whatever.
Yes.
And
Happy Hanukkah, which starts tonight, by the way,
yeah,
or was it? And
yeah,
then Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Winter Solstice, Happy
yes.
Wicca, whatever, you know. And
And
also, if you would like to reach out to me on the Instagram, I do have an Instagram channel. It's RICHALPERN. That would be at RIC Halpern, like Halpern, like L'chaim. All right,
helper.
RIC Halpern, HALPERN, and add me on the Instagram. And you can also add, I mean, for those of you who are wondering why does he have these growing, Austin Powers Impersonator,
He's a
all
good.
one word on Instagram.
He's
Follow me
great.
there too. So, and
I
I'd love to hear from
cracked up all day yesterday watching that.
you. You really
Yes,
like it. Thank you
I.
so much, baby.
You have a great afternoon,
You
and
too,
we'll
love.
see you soon.
God
Okay, bye.
bless you. Take care. Bye bye.